Did y'all see that? We just came out of nowhere on y'all. The guest is already cracking up. Here we go. All right.
My gosh.
Everybody, welcome to another episode of Ethan Hahn Plus. That is the new episode of new name of the podcast. Because why did I have the one in there? Why did I have it in the first? Well, I did have the original idea of, having one person on, but you know what? We've changed things. This is what happens when you're popular. This is what happens when you're popular, everybody. People just want to come on, and that one doesn't make any more sense. I'm gonna have, at this point, I'm gonna have like 50 people on. Ethan Hahn plus 50 at one point. But yeah, everybody, welcome back to the podcast. We got another super duper extra crossover special for you. We kind of did it before, but this time we are two guys that are feeling on top, and we are here to just throw our energy at you guys through audio or through the video, whichever you guys are tuning in on. Everybody, please welcome my good friend Rex Shaggy.
What's happening, people?
What's happening? He making that that gangster face. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I hate you so much.
Yeah. Rex is here, and he's the main mission today, everybody. King's Tales is coming back. King's Tales is Rex's podcast.
Coming back with a vengeance.
Coming back. We have a quick little logo. Wait, well, you send it to me. I'm going to put it up right here. We got
it
a little
should
King's
actually
Tales.
be popping up right next to my face.
Oh, yeah,
now.
right there. We'll put it right there. Yeah, King's Tales. Tune in. You do have old episodes out.
Oh, yeah,
how many
for
episodes did you create?
So, I'm pretty sure I did bi-weekly episodes for 6 months. So there should be 12 episodes that you guys can find on Anchor, Spotify. And I actually just got an email the other day that said that Apple Podcast picked it up. So it's also on there, surprisingly. So I was like, okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Now that I'm on Apple Podcasts, make sure you guys rate it 5 stars, make it move up the algorithm, favorite it, like it, all that good stuff. Tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your grandma, tell your auntie.
Tell the whole family.
Whole family.
Damn right. Share it. Share both of our podcasts. We're trying to make it up on top here, people. All right. But when you did those about a year ago. And, that was like a COVID idea, right?
It literally, what caused it to come to fruition, we talked about it a bit in the interview I did with you.
Yeah. Which again, there'll be you guys are gonna see two, like, his episode where he interviews me and I give my spiel about the background of the podcast. He had a lot of great questions, and now here I am gonna interview him in my Ethan Hahn way, and we're pretty much promoting both of our podcasts on each other's shows, and there's gonna be separate episodes, video and audio on his end and video audio on my end, and we're gonna make it on top, people. Hopefully this inspires you. That man, oh shit. Well, actually, real quick, before we move on, we are not in the regular studio, as you guys can see. This is my bedroom because there was work getting done in the actual studio. We're doing some renovations, and I talked to the guy, and there's gonna be some more renovations happening in there. But yes, we're in here today, and you're getting treated like a king. Because,
I feel great. All I'm missing right now is my crown.
Yeah, the crown, exactly. Because he's in AC today, and the past few guests have not been in AC.
I'm telling y'all, if we was in there, I would go
be sweating. I'd be sweating too.
I'd be melted chocolate.
Exactly. Yeah, and I would be sweating my balls off. But man, I lost track of where we were.
We were talking. You were telling me to talk about how. I got started.
Yeah, pretty much how yours started and stuff like that. Yeah, because it was essentially in COVID. You started up your podcast, right?
Yeah, for sure. And guys, if we do get off topic, forgive us.
No, again,
me and Ethan together just isn't a good
exactly. And but that's what this podcast is about. Just natural, funny conversations. Yep. So
like I mentioned earlier, when I initially first started, it was more or less a form of talking therapy for me, because when I was seeing my counselor a couple years ago to deal with a lot of the mental health issues that I was dealing with at the time, because I'll go a little bit further in depth with that later on. She had taught me that it's important for me to, and I hope that you guys are able to write this down, and please this is not professional advice. This is just advice.
Yeah. So like we said it on his podcast. We are not professionals. We are just two dudes that just like are sharing our experiences. And if you guys can relate to it anyway, that's great. But don't walk away from this being like, they told me to do this, and all this stuff. Like,
and it didn't work.
And something didn't work out. Like, don't like, yeah. Like, we're not professionals.
Do not sue us. I'm not licensed. I don't have a certificate. I didn't go to school for psychology, so don't sue.
We just have mics and cameras, and we're just talking.
Right, literally.
That's it.
So she had told me to write the stuff down, and when I felt comfortable enough to talk it out loud, no one else had to be around. And she said that by me being able to put those thoughts on paper and actually talk about it, that would in turn help me heal from whatever it was that was bothering me. Mm-hmm. And so that's when I was like, you know what, we're in a pandemic. At the time I really wasn't working a lot of hours, so I was like, I might as well just start this up, give it a shot. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, at least I tried it. So it initially started out as me doing talking therapy, and really most of the issues that I was dealing with is more particular to our generation. So Ethan and I are part of the Generation Z demographic. We were born between... We were born between the years of 1996 and 2008, which is the demographic of Gen Zs. Mm-hmm. So initially, I started as a way to talk about some of the social and political and economical issues that we deal with.
Which a lot of people need to, like, I think, hear at times like this. Yeah,
absolutely. And it's really funny because we talked about it earlier too. Like, I was actually reflecting and going back on and listening to some of the old episodes that I recorded.
Yeah,
and I was like, wow, it's really crazy how much it evolved from when I first started in June to when I finished with the end of year recap in December. Like, I was a lot more confident in myself talking, and the research that I was able to do by reading the articles and talking to other people and getting knowledge from that, like, I was like, oh wow, this is really, really good. And I remember it was the day after New Year's. A couple of people from high school had messaged me, and they were like, yo, dude, we've been following you for the past 6 months. Nice. All the stuff that you're talking about, like, there's value in that. Yeah. And, don't stop. Like, the way that you deliver it, your authenticity, and the things that you're talking about are so helpful, and people need to hear about it because, you talking through some of the traumas and the issues that you've been through has helped me to identify it and at least face it and, realize, okay, maybe I do need to go get some help and talk about some of the things that I'm dealing with. Yeah. And hearing that, you said it earlier, like, you get emotional, like, not to the point where you're bawling your eyes out, but
it's a good feeling.
It's a really good feeling knowing that you're being utilized to help other people overcome their stuff. And it
kind of goes back to, again, I know we keep saying this, but like what we recorded earlier with Rex on his podcast is don't like it was a quote I kind of read from Cisco. Don't be like selfish and like not put out there what your personality is or what your gifts are.
Show your gift.
I think show your gift. I think you were able to find a way to express that in your podcast, and it helped people, as you can see. Right. People our age need to hear from a voice like yourself and your personality, your type of person that they can relate to. And I think that was really good that you created that, and I'm glad that you are continuing it. But a message that we want to always enforce is be yourself and put yourself out there. Don't keep yourself like in there, like in your mind or anything like that. I know it can be scary to people that want to putting themselves out there and stuff like that, but again, I promise you are helping other people out by doing that. Either if it's just making them feel better, making them feel better, and just like just helping them through a tough time, or if they're just here to listen to a funny conversation, help them. Again, like I said before, mental health is very underrated, and it's something I think we all should acknowledge more. And Rex's podcast is a great listen for those type of topics. Great listen. It's these moments, yeah.
But and when I was in the process of revamping and rebranding everything, because all you guys have to do is just go on Anchor, and you'll see that from January up until even now, like, I wasn't uploading any episodes, and I was just in a mind space where I was like, all right, my prayer life and my relationship with God has developed to the point now where, like, I was like, God, I don't want to rush into anything. Can you just show me what it is that I need to do in order to reach more people and help, more than anything, help other people overcome whatever it is that they're going through. And one of the beautiful things is God doesn't talk to you right away. So it was really quiet for a while, and then eventually I ended up
Be
going,
patient.
Yeah,
be patient.
And that was the biggest thing that I had to take away from it, because I didn't hear anything or see anything until I went to a leadership conference. It was called the PLE conference by Anika Cohen, and I got so much value from that because there were so many influential people there that had podcast series, that had their own businesses, that had the knowledge and the resources that I was looking for. And all I had to do was just open my mouth and introduce myself, shake their hand.
That was it. Yeah,
and
that was it.
They gave me the information. They gave me the resources. And some of the things that they were talking about was exactly what I needed to rebrand and revamp and get what I needed to
get that burst of motivation too.
Exactly.
Get a little burst of motivation. Yeah.
And realizing that, I don't want to rush anything and end up, doing something that first and foremost hinders or hurts my brand, but also hinders or hurts someone else. And that's something that I don't want ever, is to put stuff out there that hurts people.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, the revamped mission statement now is utilizing my voice to help those that don't think they have a voice, like giving a voice to the voiceless, and helping them realize that whatever it is that you're going through, all you have to do is just talk about it, talk through it. That is probably one of the biggest pieces of value that I got from, my talking therapy through the podcast.
Right. Yeah. So, talking will help out a lot in a situation where you're just, in your head too much.
Yeah.
But one thing I do want to go to is like you just said, I liked what you said earlier. When you went to that convention, it was a convention you went to?
Yeah, it was like a leadership conference.
Was that something for school, or someone told you to go there?
Oh, yes. I heard about it through my pastor. He was like, I'm going to this leadership conference. I'd like for you to come with me. I think there would be a lot of value for you to gain from. And he paid for my ticket. I was like,
that's awesome.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
like,
that's awesome.
He didn't have to do it, but
yeah.
And was really crazy is how much I couldn't even put into like monetary value how valuable that information was. And I essentially got it for free. Yeah. So again, I was just like really grateful for the opportunity.
What were the people that were there? Like, what were the companies, or what were they doing?
It was a lot of freelance like entrepreneurs, like
okay,
and they were all various ages. Like the oldest one was in her 60s, the youngest one was in her young 20s, like us, and she does videography. Yeah, so she was recording everything that was going on, and I was like, yo, and like they're literally. There's a price for everything, but like I like they were giving me free game, and I was like, yo, this is so crazy.
It was cool you were able to go there, because again, the entertainment business, it relies on connections and building relationships
and networking.
And the fact that you're able to do that, I think that the knowledge you left with probably helped you out a lot. Yeah,
tremendously.
Was that and then after that, was that the moment you were like, I'm bringing it back?
Yep.
Yes.
I love that's that. When I realized that, and I had because it was in Baltimore, so on the drive back with my pastor, like I was just telling him, like, I got everything that I needed. Like, God literally had us there for a reason. I got all the value that I needed in order to revamp it. And then now it's just a matter of execution and making sure that as I'm executing, I'm remaining patient and knowing that, if I rush it now, like, it's just not going to work out the way that I envisioned it. So
right, yeah, because then you contacted me because you wanted to kind of figure out the equipment and stuff like that too. Which again, I want to tell everyone, if you want to, I try to tell a lot of people this too. It's not an arm and a some pieces of equipment can be expensive, but like for the most part, like this isn't as crazy as you think it is, the equipment wise. And like I was telling, I think you asking me pretty much, and a few other people have too. I think you're starting you were getting back into yours, but a few people want to start a podcast now, and because I've encouraged them a little bit, inspired them, because when I have guests leave, they're like, I've always wanted to do one, and it was cool to be able to do this. I'm like, start yours and have me on as a guest, and I will get you popping on there,
Right.
I think it's a good way, again, talking therapy. I think it's a good way for people just to just get some things off their chest, and just to have a good wholesome conversation with another person. Again, if you're not with another person, just talk. Yeah. Just talk with someone, and it was cool. It was cool, you come, you being able to be like, I want to get this back started, and then asking about the equipment, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see where you're gonna go with it, man. Yeah. But when do you? So because when we get this all set up, you said you want to get things going by the second week of August.
Yeah, mid-August. That
okay.
And by then I will have. Last week I paid for everything in terms of registering my business as an LLC. And
Right, yeah.
I'll more than likely end up doing a Instagram live explaining how I went about that process to help other people that want to learn how to do it. Because there's definitely some value in there, and more than anything, like I think sometimes, and this is probably what discourages certain people from actually starting their business, is there's so much information out there that it tends to overwhelm you.
It's scary.
You can't filter through it. You don't know what's credible, what's not credible.
Yes. Yeah.
If people are trying to scam you or just take your so it's a lot. And fortunately enough, through my process, I was able to learn you don't need an attorney to walk you through the process. There are websites now that offer services.
This is going back to making your thing an LLC.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, are you able, can you elaborate a little bit? Yeah,
absolutely.
like, what was the process in that?
So,
what were your steps? Yeah.
After I went to that leadership conference, I was like, okay, so how do I go about registering as a business? And then I talked to a couple of my boys, and they were like, oh, bro, all you have to do is just get an LLC. And so they explained the process to me, but like there were still like some things I wasn't understanding. So, of course, I went straight to Google. I found a legal firm that does like business consultations and help you build your business. So I called them, and the quote that they gave me was outrageous. She was like, okay, so you have to, I was speaking to the paralegal, so she was like, yeah, so you hire a lawyer, their hourly rate is $300 an hour, and then in addition to that, since
She said that with a straight face?
Bro,
What the
I
hell?
was literally looking at her like,
What?
Are you dumb?
Yeah.
That's like half of one of my
$300 an hour? Fuck off.
that was literally half of one of my paychecks. I'm like, and that's just
Yeah.
an hourly rate. And then she's like,
Unreal.
oh yeah, and then because the lawyer's just there to defend you in case anything happens. I do most of the business preparation, so my rate is $250 an hour. So I was like, yeah. So I was like, $550 an hour for your services.
I wish. Yeah.
I was
what
like,
the hell?
So I told her, I was like, yeah, that's a bit out of my budget.
Yeah.
Let me do some extra research. If you find anything and you can help me out and, just send me information, I would really appreciate it. So I left her my email and all that good stuff. Never heard back from her. So I was like, okay, well, now it's time for me to, first and foremost, pray on it, see where God's going to guide me, and do my own research.
Right, yeah.
So I ended up going on Google. I stumbled on, because one of the things that you need in order to register a business is a registered agent. So they handle all your paperwork. They file everything for you. They keep records of everything. And so I was like, oh, okay. Well, is there a company or agency that handles that?
Yeah.
I found one, and they were for the whole process, I think it was like $500. I was like, I'm almost certain I could find something for cheaper and
100%.
get a little bit extra help.
But yeah, and then so yeah, you have your podcast. Let's see here. And again, yeah, he is gonna bring it back up. Well, the plan here is, everybody, is he's gonna have a, what's your YouTube channel name? Do you want to say that?
Yeah,
you're gonna start having video versions just like this.
Absolutely. So all of the social media platforms that I'll be using for our business page, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, they're all under the same name. It's King's Tales Official. So
Okay, nice.
no apostrophes, no spaces, none of that. So it's just KINGSTALESOFFICIAL.
Okay, cool. Better to make it easy, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Better to make it easier. So yeah, well, you have video. What is the plan moving forward? Because when you talked to me about it, you were gonna start having guests on.
Oh,
Which,
yeah.
again, I'll be the first one to be on his the episode coming back. But what are the plans? With the guests coming out, you're just gonna ask them topics that you had before, but now just with more people.
Yeah, absolutely. So actually, the main reason why I took such a long hiatus is because I was stuck in that mindset that I had to have a studio and like just me recording on my phone.
Right.
I knew that me recording on my phone wasn't sufficient enough, especially like if I wanted to have guests on the show later on. So I was like, dang, I want to have the equipment and stuff to be able to start recording, like invite people over.
Right.
But I also knew too that studio time is pretty expensive. Especially like when you try to go to like a real big professional studio and stuff. And sometimes people with their own private studios, they'll take pictures and make it seem like their studio's all that, and then you get there and you just wasted your money. So
Yeah.
I was like, I want to be able to have people come around and invite them over for the show and really expound on certain topics, because I had like big ideas for it. And
I think with your topics too, and especially your personality, because it works already by itself. But I think when you have people on, you're gonna open a whole Pandora's box is gonna open up, dude, and you're gonna be like thriving on that stuff. Yeah.
Thanks. So that's when I'm so grateful that I was able to go to that leadership conference that we talked about earlier. Because it helped me realize that I can do everything from home. Like I don't need to, I don't have to go to other people's studios or have to use other people's equipment. Like if I have the means to purchase everything, just get it all myself.
Just budget yourself, and then you're gonna be able to find the right stuff. Because again, that's what comes with this stuff. Even though it still does the noise once in a while, but it's almost a staple of the podcast now, that little noise. But again, I encourage you and everybody listening, like just whatever you got, make it work.
And you don't have to buy everything at once. Break up your purchases.
Yes, exactly. That's kind of what I did in a way. I started off really small, like these mic stands and everything. I didn't even have these. I had like something really like short and stubby, and I was just kind of like talking to them like, hey,
like the stage microphone, right?
Yeah. Something or like that was for the movie podcast, and then when I moved over to this casual one, if anything, I was holding the goddamn mic because I was just, and it didn't sound right because with these mics, I might invest in better ones eventually when things start getting better financially. But holding these mics, it makes a bunch of noise. So again, like I told you, when you get these mics, make sure you just have the holder with them because it's gonna fix everything. And pop filters too. Oh, maybe it kind of works. I don't know. Maybe it kind of works. Yeah. But yeah, man, I'm excited to see us grow, man. Yeah, and
for sure.
The topics you're gonna talk. Who do you plan to have on? Anyone in mind right now? Yeah, like that you want to shout out? Anybody?
As of right now, I'm still trying to process who. We'll figure out honestly who. Because you and I talked about this.
I'm sure you know a lot. I'm sure you know connections that you would love to have on. Dude.
It's one thing to know a lot of people. I want to make sure that I have the right people on too. Yeah. Because we talked about it earlier. Like you don't want to have people on here and it's just stale conversation, or you're just awkwardly staring at each other, or they're not bringing any value to the show
to it.
Or to your viewers.
I will say I've made some bets on people, but again, it's all worked out so far. Again, I had some. It's a very nervous thing too. I had strangers on. Again, shout out to Valerie West and CJ for coming on that day. You guys killed it. It was beautiful. You guys nailed it. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous, because I was like, are they gonna fucking talk? Like, I don't know these people and shit like that. But once they came on, it was nonstop conversation, and if anything, in from what I experienced that day, if anything, it made it kind of easier because I knew nothing about them, and the questions were just genuine questions. I was like, wait a second, opposed to when it's someone that's cool, you almost kind of have to think about it. It's like, wait a minute, because sometimes you've covered that with them in a casual conversation in the past, but it's like, oh, let me ask this for you real quick, even though it's just really for the podcast. But to have I encourage, in a way, as long as you kind of do some background checks on them, to have like people on that you don't really know, because it makes the conversation more interesting and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
And you get an interesting take on it. Yeah. But again, no crazy names right now that you're thinking of?
Not anybody I can think of, but I definitely there are some people that I know that have their own businesses that I definitely want to have a dialogue, me talking about my experiences, them talking about theirs, and just going back and forth with that. Definitely talking about mental health and trauma and how to like overcome that. I definitely have someone in mind when it comes to that. But those are probably just the main two topics, talking about business ownership and mental health and trauma for now. And I'll definitely further expound upon that. And it's actually funny because in the meeting that I was in earlier, I learned that when you enter into a new fiscal year, so it's really important. Those first 30 days are critical. Whenever you start, you have to have an action plan, figure out what the goal is, and then having an objective. So if your goal is within the next 30 days to build a social media presence, and this is something I learned from that leadership conference that I went to, if you're going to have a social media platform and it's under one entity, make sure that the name is available on all social media platforms and just use one name. And everyone will be able to follow that one name. Yeah, because again, I think that you took that advice, and in King's Tales, that's actually something fascinating because I think all mine are different. Mine are different. I try to promote it. I mean, for the most part, Ethan Hahn Productions vlogs and
Plus are on my YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that, but I think that's an interesting thing to take away from this conversation right now, because
sure.
my Instagram, Snapchat, and everything is completely different. People know when I pitch it at the end, I'm like Han_Aguilar at Instagram, and it's Swaguilar25 on Snapchat, Ethan Han TV on TikTok. Just got into TikTok, yeah.
Right.
I'm trying to make some more of those, but no, that's a pretty good tip to take, yeah. Because again, when people do think about that, of course, I think the first thing they will click. I know I haven't even seen it. I have seen it in person too. People have tried searching me up in my face. They're just like, oh yeah, what's your Instagram? And they're typing in already like Ethan Han Productions, and it's not that. It's Han_Aguilar. So now I'm thinking maybe that would be beneficial to maybe switch that up a bit. Yeah. And I want to get into a few topics here, because we've hit some good time here. We can just kind of end on these. You being at the age you're at, and trying to create and stuff like that. You feel overwhelmed. Right. Yeah. The overwhelming feeling can get there. For sure. I think for all of us at this age. Have you ever felt like, has anxiety ever hit you really crazy before? And because I think one thing I wanted, I think you're the perfect person to talk to about it, is anxiety in general. What a lot of people might not think is, I get it. And, a lot of people might think, Ethan gets it, whatever. Like, you always out and about doing stuff. But I think I've had occasions where, like, you can't think straight. And stuff like that. And people have I want this for people who haven't had it to know, maybe if they do have it eventually, to harness it, or people who do have it know that you're not alone, because a lot of people think this is just a me thing, then it gets to their head more, that they get more scared. I'm curious, in the life of Rex, have you ever felt anxiety, or has it gotten to you, and how did you handle it? There we go.
This is a great question. And y'all, if y'all are tuning in, like, if everyone has ever told you that, you just have to repress your emotions and deal with whatever it is that you're dealing with, you don't. And it's so much easier for you if you just tackle it head on. It's super terrifying, because it's something that you haven't done before, and it's almost like you're going into the unknown. But your mental health matters, and you definitely have to take into consideration that we're almost like cars. If you don't take care of the engine, your car's not going to go very far. If you're not putting the right fuel in, your car's not going to go very far. If you're not taking care of the tires and getting changed and rotated, your car's not going to go very far. So think of yourself almost as like a car. So you have to do maintenance on yourself daily.
Even if it seems something that's small and minuscule, do it.
For sure. And I just wanted to put that little disclaimer again. We're not professionals. Do not take our advice seriously. I cannot stress this enough. Do not take this as professional advice. But in my own personal experience dealing with depression and anxiety were probably two of the biggest things that I dealt with, especially in undergrad. There was a time where...
Real quick, do you remember the first time you had it?
Yeah, I do.
When was the first time? Yeah, and then you can get more into that, because I'm curious about your first time and how you felt, and that was like, because it is a weird time. I'll say mine, because I feel like the first time you have it, you don't know what that is.
What it is, right.
Yeah, so I'm curious.
I remember, it was actually sophomore year, the last relationship I was in.
After, it was in high school, because mine was in high school too.
After that breakup, dude, I was just like I was always like panicking and like in this state of like, yo, like, something's wrong, but I can't put my finger on it.
Right. It's confusing.
It's super confusing. You think that that it's just a you thing and that there's something wrong with you, but in actuality, anxiety affects so many people. I wish I had the statistics so I can let you guys know, but it really does affect a lot of people, and you're not alone when it comes to that. So my experience with it was, it's elevated heart rate, your mind is racing when you're literally
it's crazy how you think it's just like in the movies or in the cartoons. It's like a crazy fast slot machine, and you're trying to like wait, and then it's like but you can keep going, and I'll get in mind. But it's like a weird breathing thing.
There's your heart rate goes up tremendously. There's like a little hamster running around in the wheel in your head, and it's just constantly going, and you're like stop. You're thinking about all the possibilities, all the negatives, all the well, you're not really thinking of positive stuff. It's primarily negative stuff, and and for me, like, that anxiety and depression kind of went hand in hand, and if it goes unchecked and you're not talking to anybody about it, and you're it can get really overwhelming, and you find yourself in this really dark place, and you start to question yourself. You're like, yo, like, why am I even here? Like, why do I have to suffer and deal with this stuff? And it's terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I had to learn was, although at the time it feels like it's controlling you, you're the person that's in control.
Yeah.
And one of the best things that I could have done was, again, going to counseling, but one of the best tips that I got when it came to managing my anxiety was primarily taking into account that there's something that caused it, and you have to pinpoint what it was and face it. Because 9 times out of 10, when we deal with something traumatic or, something life-changing, we tend to run away from it. And it's so important for us to really look back and figure out what it was. It might take a while. I'm not saying that you're going to wake up the next day and know what it was exactly, but for me, one of the best things that I found, the best method I found at the time was journaling, like writing down my thoughts, going back to replaying traumatic events in my head. And sometimes, when you repress something for so long, it's hard for you to access it. But once you're able to pinpoint what it is, and first and foremost, learn how to forgive yourself for that situation.
Yeah.
And if someone did wrong, you learn how to forgive them. That's the first step that you can take in healing yourself from that.
Right. Yeah.
And you'll go from a point of being constantly overwhelmed and feeling like you can't get over it to knowing when and how to handle it.
Yeah. For you, okay, because we talked about it before. I want to get into that too. I mean, I'll meditate to clear my head. I just want people to hear it with these different situations. When I do my, I think meditation could be anything.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. Like someone's meditation could be playing video games. It clears their head.
Clears their head.
For me, it's like, it's running. And then after that run, just kind of like sitting there. And I'm not doing the, like, with the fingers and stuff like that. I'm just sitting there and then clearing my head and letting myself know, yo, I'm okay. I'm all right. And we talked about it on your episode a little bit, but just the small words of I'm okay matter. Like tell yourself that a lot. Yeah,
for
but
sure.
Do you have a form of it that you kind of
so for me
channel?
So
like what gets you out the hole?
My biggest thing now, and I've gotten to a place of trust with God now that like I feel, well, I know for certain I can just go to Him and talk about whatever it is that's bothering me.
Yeah.
That was the biggest thing, is just getting over that hump and being vulnerable. Because sometimes too, when we're coming from a place where we don't really talk about our problems that much, talking to people alone, like that is a crazy idea, because we and other people that are spiritual and follow God, they'll understand, or whatever entity that you follow, you can't physically see them. So it looks and sounds crazy to talk to them about what it is that you're going through. But again, like I talked about earlier, it's a form of talking therapy. And once you're able to really put those thoughts into words and give a name to what it is that you're dealing with, that helps you overcome it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so,
it gets you out of there, yeah.
In terms of my form of meditation, is just really just praying and having that conversation with God and talk about what it is that I'm going through. Yeah. And another thing that, the Bible is really funny, bro. Like, if sometimes like I'll read some some parable or some of the stories that are in there.
Yeah.
I'm like, the same exact stuff that they were dealing with in ancient times is the same exact stuff that we're dealing with today.
Yeah.
And once you're able to relate those two and realize that, if they were able to get through it through prayer and just pushing through and facing whatever it is that they were dealing with, I can do the same thing. And it empowers me. And I'm like, oh, okay.
That's one thing I got a little educated on, kind of being part of the small group that I'm in with that GSBC church. It's fascinating. Again, I'm still on my journey, figuring things out. Like, but when I hear them talk about the Bible and how it relates to like current situations, I do lean in more. I'm like a little more like, wait, what? Like, wait, what's going on here? Because it is a little fascinating. Because I just want to. Again, I'm a guy that likes to hear a lot of things, but that like to have faith in God and stuff, that's been the most like thing that I've kind of tried to lay back on some more.
Yeah, for sure.
So for you, like kind of to your form of meditation is kind of you're strong in your faith, strong in your faith.
Yep.
How long have you How long have you been like that? I mean,
So-
have you've always been kind of strong?
It's really crazy because I knew of God growing up, but I never had my own personal relationship.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that separates you know, the I guess I don't even want to make this comparison, but like the people that go to church and the people that have a relationship with God.
Yes.
And so I've learned that you can go to church and not have a relationship with God. It's really what you're doing throughout the week. Like whether it's, praying, reading the Bible, or, really just it's taking some time to
actions. Like it's more in your actions,
It's more in your
actions of what's going on to build that relationship.
Right.
That's something I kind of learned too, because again, when I was going to church before, just kind of walk in. I mean, I'm not saying I go now, but one thing I learned is you can kind of just have that relationship with him as long as you're strong in your faith and stuff like that. Yeah. And it doesn't necessarily have to be, you don't have to walk in that building.
Yeah.
I always make this funny joke with my buddy Gilbert, but there's a song that they were singing at the retreat, and it was like, it's not a building you want to fill, it's your heart. And I always tell him, like, bro, every time I see him, I'm like, bro, it's not a building, bro. Pray. Just pray. It's not a building, bro. And it's just like it's like a joke thing, but also it's also like a very more deeper thing where it's like, man, like you don't gotta go. I mean, go to church. I mean,
for sure.
Again, I don't go as much as I should. But again, I like to. I have my relationship with God, and I talk to Him in the way that I talk to Him. Again, we talked about this a little bit beforehand. Everyone has their different versions of worship and there are different versions of faith, and all you can do is listen. Hey, great, you found your way. You found your way of doing it, and listen, it's something that we can just kind of our faith we can lay back on a little bit, and it's nice. It's nice to have that relationship. Yeah,
absolutely.
Sure.
And it's actually not to drag on the topic, because sometimes people don't want to hear about religion and spirituality.
Exactly. Yeah, but again,
we're here.
Anything on this podcast, everybody. We talk about anything. Yeah,
for sure. So my pastor always says, like, people get so caught up in the four walls of the church that when it comes to actually going out and helping people, like they almost walk around with their nose
we're about
up.
To go. Yeah, keep going.
Like they walk like there's these prestigious, perfect people.
Yes.
And one thing that I've learned from reading the Bible is He always uses imperfect people. Someone that has an addiction, someone that has an issue, someone that has a disease, someone that has that's an imperfect person. He uses them to do great things.
Yes.
And if you walk around like you're pompous, you always got your nose up and you think that you're better than everybody, you're not going to be able to help anybody.
Yes.
And sometimes he says it all the time. He's like, there are people that you're going to encounter that don't want to come to those four walls.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to help them where they are, where they are.
Yeah.
So,
that's my pastor will, again, that's why I like hanging out with them. I like the way they put it, and it opens my mind a little bit more, where we're put here on earth to do God's work and God do what the gift that God give us and stuff like that. Do things. He does my pastor does a lot of outreach, and that's
crucial,
doing,
bro.
That's doing, opposed to, again, I'm sorry if someone gets offended by the way I word this, but opposed to just going to church every Sunday, leaving
for sure.
and being like, yeah, I'm doing great things. But again, there's nothing wrong with that. But I think it is more.
It's deeper than that.
It's an
There's levels to it.
There's actions. Get involved in more things and just give the gift that you have.
Right.
Give the gift you were born with. Yeah. And also, it is a. That was my dad. Also, I think this type of stuff can help with your mental health.
For sure.
Talking to people, communicate with people, being involved with people, it gets you out of that hole. For me, being in that COVID season, COVID prime, I was working at home for 2 months, man, and I was blessed. I was blessed that one of my buddies got me involved with these church events and stuff and retreats, because it was something I needed, and it was something that now that COVID is dying down, and the more I'm hanging out with them, I'm being more grateful for what I have, because it was like, man, before I had to be like. In 2020, I had to be more paranoid about masks and stuff, and now it's just kind of like we're all vaccinated, things are getting a little bit back to normal, which is great. And the fact that I can just say let's hang out, and I hang out with this new dare I say the new family I created with them,
for sure,
and just to kind of vibe with them, and it was cool, man. I'm grateful to have them because seriously, it kind of got me out of a little hole that I was in, you know.
Absolutely.
And just to be able to hang out with them now is great. What I will say is going back to the anxiety thing too. My first encounter, it was
Man.
crazy, yeah. It was almost like so. Here's my first encounter with it. I think it was junior year for me, and there was just a lot going on. Like, and it goes back to
Did it start before or after cross country season?
Oh, great question. Because
I think we talked about it a bit.
I think it was during or before. I don't recall. I don't no. When did I have? I had English. It was during the musical, and I can't recall. Oh, it was during the musical.
Oh,
that much.
So it was after the cross country season.
I think maybe it was in the transition
Okay.
of like cross country and then like school and then the musical, but it was 100% during the musical, which was Footloose, and I think it was just like it goes back to you have to talk to people to feel better because I think I had literally all this like stress and emotions in me that was like trying to get out. It was like, and there was yeah, let us out. And dude, like, I was in English class. I remember this day because it was fucking scary. And I remember I was just writing, and it'll just show up like this too. I was literally writing, just doing some tests, and it was just so quiet. And I remember, I think I was in my head a lot in that moment. I think I was thinking about what was stressing me out at the time, like back to back, and I couldn't think. And I couldn't even focus on writing. It was weird, and I didn't do it. But I remember I was like, I wanted to just get up and just walk out of class. Yeah. I don't know what the fuck it was. It was the first time I ever felt that. The first time. And I'm just like, I put the pencil down. I just kind of sat there for a second while everyone else was working. I hated the silence. And then I was just like, I think I just bullshitted the rest of the test, whatever it was, because I was just like stressed out.
Yeah.
And then it was like, I didn't do, maybe I was, because I was really this close to just walking out of class for no reason too.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was. Part of me was like, I just need to walk out of here right now. But I didn't do it. And then I remember walking around, I was like, what the fuck was that? It was just like my heart was pounding. Yeah. I was like, my breathing was like, it was fucking weird.
Yeah,
again,
bro.
it was it was like some supernatural thing to an extent.
Crazy.
I was like, what is this? And I was like, me? Like anxiety? Like, I don't know. Is this what anxiety is? Because my mom dealt with it a lot. You know, she we're blessed that, you know, it doesn't hit her as much these days. But in the past, she had episodes. And a part of me was like, I was trying to run through the symptoms I had. I'm like, man, was that anxiety? Because I always saw mom kind of had it. Yeah. I'm not lying when I say this. I went home and I just hugged her. I hugged my mom. I'm like, hey, something happened. She was like, what? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just feeling overwhelmed right now and stressed. And I just kind of opened up a little bit to her.
Yeah.
And she was like, that's what that is. Yeah, like anxiety. And I'll still get it. I'll get little spurts here and there. I think that was probably just the worst occasion because again, it was the first time. But I'll get little spurts. You know, after work, I'll come home and you know, it's really in your head thing. Yeah. That's what it is. Because I'll come home after work and honestly, like I just sit home and I'm just like, am I doing this all right? Like full-time job and then you know doing this podcast, YouTube, and then again you put yourself in your head and then you're just kind of I'm like in my bed I'm just like I'm just like shifting around. I'm just like, but then the way I take myself out of it, talking to people, I'll do something I love. I'll edit a video or something like that. I'll go for a run. There's a lot of do the things that make you, and I think you can get yourself out of there. But I think the biggest one is talking to people because your mind will just whatever that little bug is in your head, the bug is gonna. Because now you're in a topic with someone else. You're in another world now, opposed to being in your head. I think, dude, talking to people is fucking powerful. It's crazy, bro. Dude. It's crazy, yeah. And I just think, again, I think I said it before, either on this episode earlier or on yours, mental health is just a really underrated thing. And I think it's something that more people need to acknowledge. And, again, you are not alone if you are feeling in a hole or in some way. Yeah,
for sure. And I think one of the best things that you did was put in a name to it, and this is something that I'll tell the viewers like right now. You won't be able to overcome something until you put a name to it, and then once you're able to identify it, the best advice I can give you is not to WebMD a whole bunch of stuff, because then you'll get a whole bunch
It'll
of
be
synopsis.
worse. You're gonna get worse because you're gonna see more things that are gonna stress you out. Yeah,
absolutely. And so
but again, we're not professionals.
Yeah,
we're not professionals.
Can't stress that
just
enough.
just literally, we're just two regular guys. Listen to us, and then see what you can do on your end. You know,
Absolutely.
like I don't know, just if this can help anyone out anyway. Yeah, like.
And one more thing that I would suggest is, once you're able to identify what it is that's bothering you, or even if you aren't able to do it on your own, finding someone, whether it's professional help or someone that you trust or know and love, talking to them about what it is that you're going through. And sometimes we'll run into people and they'll have experienced the same exact thing that we're going through, and they'll be able to put a name to it, and that'll help you with your process of dealing with it.
Just talk, and then you'll realize, man, more people are just like me. Yeah, we're all human, yo. Like, I saw this thing on a post that was just like, damn, we really on a floating rock paying bills.
Bro, sometimes I think like that, and I'm like, yo.
And like, we're stressing ourselves out, man. And then there was a comment under that post that was like, and like, on the floating rock, we had everything we needed, and we like made it more harder for ourselves to get it,
right.
And like to make it more accessible. Like we played ourselves, bro. We
Literally.
played ourselves. Don't get me wrong. Like, great that there's organization, I guess governments and shit. But like, sometimes I just think like, yo, were we just better off being like, like give me like
right,
like,
caveman?
Because now we're like, everyone's in their heads, bro. Like we're all stressed.
It's
man.
crazy.
We're all in our heads just trying to figure this shit out, man.
What really blows my mind is the concept of money.
Okay, let's get into this. Yeah.
The other day it was Jeff Bezos went to space, guys. He went to space.
Crazy shit, right?
He has so much money that he put together a team,
a 10-minute
that
space
built
ride.
a spaceship, and he went up with other people to go to space because he has so much money.
Dumb money,
bro.
Dumb money.
I checked his net worth is $40 billion.
What the fuck?
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot.
The other day, we got COVID relief money from our school. I got a check of $6,500, and I was like, what am I going to do with this? This is a lot of money. He has $40 billion.
Yeah. He's laughing at us, bro. That guy is just like, what?
He could end world poverty and hunger
money, bro.
10 times over, guys.
Let me get your take on this then. Okay, because I actually don't know where I stand on it. It's something I still think about. Are you one of the people that... Because you just made that comment. Are you one of the people where it's like, he's doing these space trips? Do you think that was like annoying to you that he did that? Or...
At the end of the day, it's his money. He can do...
Because
he can do whatever he wants with it. It's just... from a morality point of view for me.
Yeah.
If I know I have that much money and
you could be fixing shit,
bro. Yeah. I watched a YouTube video the other day that try to like simplify his money. Yeah. He makes $162,500 every second. Every second.
Stupid money. How do you even comprehend that shit?
How does that work? A work day, bro?
How does that fucking work?
That is a lot of money.
We're struggling for like our hourly wage money and shit. Like, yo, what?
And I understand, there's a lot that went into it. Years of persistence and consistency, and once he figured out the model, rebuilding it, make sure he had the right people in the right place on his team.
Yeah,
I get that, but
he has this opportunity to give. Now, dare I say, I do want to do research on this real quick. Has he but has he not done anything good though? Jeff Bezos.
The thing is, I feel like he does, but there's so much that's wrong with the world, Ethan. Like, you literally just said 100%,
it.
We did it to ourselves.
We played ourselves, bro.
Over years and years of years.
We played ourselves. And now we're just in this cycle that we just have to follow now. And it's like, Monday to Friday, I have to make this much money. And then
pay these bills.
I got to pay these bills because power and water. And if we just don't do that, we're fucked.
Yeah. Because someone else is controlling how I live.
Someone else is controlling how I live. Yeah. I need to give you money so I have light. Like, yo, what? I need you're running my water, bro? Yo, who's in charge here? Has Jeff Bezos done anything good? I'll put it that way. Jeff Bezos topped the list by donating $10 billion to launch the
$10 billion?
$10 billion to launch the Bezos Earth Fund, who last week announced he was stepping... Okay, hang on. What is the Bezos Earth Fund? Okay. Now let's do some research here.
We're going deeper into the hole.
Yeah, hang on. Bezos Earth Fund, what does it do? The Solutions Project. The Bezos Earth Fund joins the Solutions Project to accelerate the transition to 100% clean energy and equitable access to healthy air, water, and land. The Solutions Project champions. Okay.
But is it though?
Is
it really doing it?
You don't believe everything you read online,
Right?
You know?
Because that could be a cover up.
Listen, yeah, right. Because now people are kind of dogging him. Like, what do you do? I just typed in, "Has Jeff Bezos done anything good?" And the first thing that popped up was the Bezos Earth Fund. That sounds like bullshit.
Earth Fund.
Here's the Ethan Hahn Earth Fund. You know,
donate now.
The King's Tales Earth Fund. You know, something. Yeah.
And then you see me with like a brand new Mercedes a couple weeks from now, like.
Right. Yeah.
So
I love the jokes people make. Like he looks like an evil villain. when
he's Lex Luthor, bro.
He's
literally Lex Luthor.
Lex Luthor, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I guess at that point, like, because you hear of like money laundering schemes and like people put in their money in like funds and trust funds and like donation firms and stuff like that, or churches just to make their money clean. Is this clean money, Jeff Bezos?
Is it clean money?
Is it clean money?
Is it clean money?
Is it really going towards the Earth Fund, or is it going towards your riches?
Come on the podcast. Come on both of our podcasts, and we're gonna hound you.
We'll handle this.
Yeah.
After Popple sponsors us.
Yeah. He's looking at us like, man, they're dirt broke. Why would I talk to them? Yeah. Oh God.
Yo, can you imagine like we wake up the next morning and Jeff Bezos donated $100,000 to our
Yo, like he's like, on our Cash App or Venmo handles, he's like, you know what? Yeah, you guys make some good points. And he's like, well, what if he donates us? And then the caption is like, yeah, no, shut up, stop talking shit. And we're just like, well, he just sent me like 10 million.
I can't beat that.
I'm gonna take a vacation. See you guys later.
No, Ethan, we have to show character.
I know. We should show character. You know, I wouldn't take the money. 10 million. Alrighty, everybody. Well, that has been the episode for you. A good, very intellectual episode. Very, we got a little deep into some topics there for you. Last week, Joy was roasting me, and Tina was too. But here we are having some good actual conversation here. That last week was just a really centrically a comedic one. But this one, again, this was just to help a friend promote their podcast. And let's just talk about some serious topics that I think need to get acknowledged. But
for sure.
Remember, everybody, Ethan Hahn Plus is on Spotify, Apple, Anchor, and the video version will be on YouTube. Support me on all those audio platforms and on YouTube. Subscribe to the main channel, Ethan Hahn Productions. I do short films and vlogs. The short film, SWAT Godfather, will be dropping in November, and we're going to be filming in September and October, and there is a role for Mr. Rex Shaggy in it as well. He will be in it. The scripts are still pretty much done. I'm going to send them out as soon as I can, but SWAT Godfather will be coming out, and SWAT Revenge is out. Check that out too. Ethan Hahn Vlogs is out there. Check out the vlogs. It's just me having a fun time. One thing I want to announce when I do promote this one now is there's no more cussing in the vlogs. I'm trying to be, when it comes to the vlogs, I'm trying to be more family friendly because I think more people can watch it that way. But I'm telling you all right now, short films and podcasts are still R-rated, and we are going to be cussing as much as we want. But if you want to see, just a good old Ethan Hahn wholesome time, the vlogs will no longer have cussing in them. We are going to be just having a good time in those, just casual hangouts. And whenever I go to an event or something, I'm going to be recording it. Follow me on Instagram, Han_Aguilar. No, it's one underscore. I was just trying to say the word right. Han_Aguilar. That is me on Instagram. Give me a follow on there. All the promo ads for these little clips of these podcasts will be posted on there. If you go on Snapchat, it is Swagular25. Check me out on there as well. And everybody, that's pretty much it. Rex, any last words? Please plug anything you got to plug before we head out here, sir.
Absolutely. So thanks to the rebrand, you guys can find all of King's Tales information, updates, scheduling, Word Up Wednesdays, whatever. Our social media, our handle across all social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube is King's Tales Official. Decided to make it a little easier for you guys so that it's a lot easier for y'all to find us, interact with us. Definitely going to be doing a lot more in the coming months, especially in terms of building a community, because I definitely want to get to know you guys a bit more. It's really important to know your viewership and really establish that relationship. So be on the lookout. We'll definitely be interacting with you guys. Definitely excited to see where God is taking me on this journey, and I give all glory and honor to Him, because if it wasn't for Him, there would be no me.
Amen, brother. Amen. Yeah, guys, so there you have it. And again, one thing I'll say before we wrap up here. So next week, if I'm going to plan these right. Tune in for Luis Reyes and Bernadette Batista. They will be dropping next week, and they will be joining the podcast. That'll be fun. We're going to dive deep into... And actually, well, I'll say it's the first drunk cast.
Man, I'm excited
That's
for
what
that
made that
one.
one spicy a little bit.
I'm excited for
Lou
this
brought
one.
in some tequila, and I got drunk on the podcast. So,
I
and
love it.
They asked some good questions, too, about my love life. So, there you go. Ooh,
listen.
a little tease for next week.
Last week, y'all had ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend drama. This week, we got drunk Ethan coming in.
Yes, sir.
With a vengeance.
Listen, I'm trying to bring the best content for y'all. The best.
Oh, I'm excited.
All right, everyone. Yeah, again, and the podcast will drop every Tuesday, and just stay tuned for those. Alrighty, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Ethan Hahn Plus. You're supposed to say King's Tales.
Oh, gosh.
This God damn it.
Redo.
Rex, you blew it. No, I'm just kidding.
Add us to the
You're fine.
bloopers.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Ethan Hahn Plus.
King's Tales.